Imagine standing on a battlefield, your entire nation trembling in fear. Before you stands a giant warrior, stronger, taller, and more terrifying than anything you've ever seen. Everyone runs, everyone hides. But one young shepherd boy, too small to wear armor, too weak to carry a sword, dares to step forward. This is not just a story of war. It's the story of courage, faith, and how trust in God can defeat even the biggest giants in our lives. The rising tension in Israel. Long ago, Israel enjoyed peace, but peace rarely lasts forever. The Philistines, Israel's greatest enemy, had gathered their armies and were ready to attack. King Saul, the first king of Israel, led the Israelites to battle. His soldiers greeted him with respect, but deep inside, Saul was filled with worry. Among the Philistines was a warrior so fearsome that his very presence froze men with fear. His name was Goliath. Every morning and every evening, Goliath would walk to the valley and shout his challenge. "Send me a man to fight. If he wins, we will serve you. But if he falls, then all Israel will bow before us." But no man in Israel dared to face him. Even King Saul had no answer. David's family and his brothers. In the small town of Bethlehem, an old man named Jesse lived with his 8 sons. When the call for war spread through the land, Jesse's older sons prepared to join the battle. His youngest son, David, wanted to go too, but he was just a shepherd boy, too young to fight. So while his brothers marched with Saul's army, David stayed behind to care for the family's sheep. But in his heart, David longed to serve God and his people. David's faith. Tested while guarding his sheep, David faced dangers of his own. Once a lion came to snatch a lamb, and another time a bear attacked the flock. But David fought them off, not by strength, but by faith that God was with him. These moments built his courage for the greater battle to come. And even in the fields, David sang songs of praise to God. His harp echoed with faith. "Even if the lion draws near, I will not fear, for the Lord is my strength." A simple errand leads to destiny. One day, Jesse called David and said, "Take this food to your brothers at the battlefield. See how they are doing." Obediently, David left his sheep with another boy and hurried to Saul's camp. When he arrived, he heard the roar of the giant. Goliath's booming voice thundered across the valley as he mocked Israel and cursed God. David was shocked. Who is this Philistine to defy the armies of the living God? Why is no one fighting him? His brothers scolded him, telling him to go back home. But David's spirit burned with faith. He said, "If no one else will fight, then I will." David before King Saul. When news reached Saul, he could hardly believe it. A young shepherd boy wanted to face the giant? But David told the king about the lion and the bear, and how God delivered him each time. With no one else willing, Saul agreed. He placed his hope in David and in the God of Israel. Saul offered his armor and sword, but they were too heavy. David refused, saying, "I come not with sword or spear, but in the name of the Lord." Armed only with his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones, David stepped onto the battlefield. David faces Goliath. Goliath laughed when he saw the boy. "Do you come to me with sticks? I will crush you and feed your flesh to the birds." But David shouted back with boldness, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. Today, the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and all the world will know there is a God in Israel." The 2 armies watched in silence as the boy raised his sling, placed a stone inside, and with one swift motion released it. The stone flew through the air and struck Goliath on the forehead. The giant stumbled, then crashed to the ground. The mighty warrior was defeated by a shepherd's faith. Victory for Israel. When the Philistines saw their champion fall, they ran in terror. Israel's army shouted with joy and chased them from the battlefield. The people rejoiced, not because a boy had beaten a giant, but because God had shown his power through faith. This was not just the end of Goliath. It was the beginning of David's journey. the shepherd boy who would one day become the greatest king of Israel. Lesson for us today: the story of David and Goliath is more than history. It's a reminder that no matter how big our problems seem, no giant is greater than God. Each of us faces our own Goliaths: fear, doubt, sickness, failure, or stress. But with faith like David, we too can overcome. Closing call to action. If this story inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs courage today. And if you want to hear more powerful Bible stories explained in simple, inspiring ways, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new story. Remember, with God, even the smallest can defeat the greatest.